Welcome to the first episode of our new podcast. I'm Brittany.
I'm Kent.
And we're very excited to just kind of jump on this new journey with y'all. 2 drinks, 1 podcast, and 0 filter.
That's true.
So the first segment of every podcast we're going to do, Kent is going to try out a new cocktail. We love a good cocktail. We definitely appreciate a good drink. So Kent, go ahead and tell us what drink we're trying today.
Pretty simple. Going forward, we'll have some funky names for it. But today we're just going to kind of do a lemon spritz. Not a bartender by any means or a chemist. So we'll see how it goes. If her face turns upside down, we'll know that it was terrible. Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's go.
No, that's good.
I like it.
I love that a lot.
Poor man's margarita. I like it.
No, it is good. So I guess real quick, we'll just kind of touch base on what this podcast will be. Kent and I have been wanting to do a podcast for a while. We both love to talk, and we both feel like we have a lot of knowledge and entertainment to provide in general. So this will be not just a real estate podcast. It's going to be a little bit about travel, a little bit about business in general, and just life unfiltered, you know. So Kent is also a business owner, but he used to have his real estate license as well and worked for me, which was kind of funny and could have been the end of our marriage.
True. Very true.
I always say he was my worst realtor, but I love you.
I was the best realtor. I just don't like the paperwork.
But he did a great job. He's really good with people. So like I said earlier, my name is Brittany, and I own Mason and Magnolia Real Estate, which is a boutique real estate brokerage in South Mississippi. Up until last week, I actually had 3 offices, one in Hattiesburg, the Gulf Coast, which was in Ocean Springs, and then one in Brookhaven. And I actually closed the Brookhaven office last week. We'll kind of dive deeper into that into another episode. I would love to have an episode where we talk about, you know, the ins and outs of being a broker owner and what that looks like. I think there's a lot of things out there that make real estate life and broker life very glamorous, and there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, a lot of stress too. So I'm looking forward to sharing some of my tips and tricks and, you know, what to do, what not to do, and the things that I've learned along the way. So I'm very excited for that. But I'll let you kind of chime in if there's anything you want to add to that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think as somebody gets into real estate life and becomes a realtor, they think about the downtime and the fun things they can do and all that stuff, and it's there. I mean, if you work your butt off, I think that you can absolutely get that sphere to where people are coming to you for work, but the work is always there. But when you become a broker owner, it's just exponential. All of that side work and back work, the things that you don't think about, is on you because you're running a business and a real estate brokerage at the same time. So that would be a really fun episode to really dive in and see, you know, some of the ins and outs, and we can share some of the issues that it caused at home, the nights crying on the floor, things like that. So.
But this will be a very positive podcast. We're positive people.
No, it's not. It's going to be a terribly, terribly depressing podcast.
No, we're very excited. I want to share sort of some of the segments that we plan to have. So in this first episode, obviously neither one of us.
Wait, there's going to be more than one episode?
Hopefully, we'll see. Sometimes life be life, and just being honest.
Maybe our kids will follow us.
You know what? They are my 2 subscribers on YouTube.
Hey.
So.
Gotta start somewhere.
That's right. I'm not ashamed of that. But this first episode is just going to kind of outline what we intend to do, and we hope that it helps people. We hope people not only, you know, find entertainment out of it, but that it does help people. It's not just a real estate podcast. It is for business owners. It's for the general public who are just either fascinated or curious about real estate life, whether it be getting into the business or just kind of like, what's it like to be a realtor, you know, or just a business owner.
I'm laughing at you said whether it be getting. We be getting a drink.
I was doing a listing video with one of my photographers last week, and I kept saying, commute instead of commute, so sometimes my words just.
She never got hooked on phonics.
This is
She got
true.
hooked on other things, but not phonics.
I was a military brat, and we changed schools, and the school, when we changed, they had already gone through phonics, and I just never learned it.
You ever get a chance, by the way, look up Brian Regan, hooked on phonics. Funniest thing you'll ever hear.
Whatever.
Hook it on
Stop.
phonics.
So sometimes I do say words that are not correct. So one thing about us is Kent and I love to travel. He travels for his business, and I'll let him kind of tell you about his business in a minute, but it's really cool that, I have put systems in place and I've built a business that does allow me to travel. I feel like there's a lot of people that have, or just really society has, glamorized the just workaholic thing, where like they make you feel like, you have to be in the office from, 8 to 5 every single day, or you're not going to get business, or, being available absolutely 24/7, that sort of thing. And I have built my business to where I can still get everything that I need done, but I'm allowed to travel. I can travel with my husband so that I don't miss time with him. And that really has been just so awesome, the places that we've been able to go to. And if I had not put those systems in place and built my business like that, then, I would be stuck in an office. So that's one thing that we'll cover in future episodes as well, is how to put those systems in place to where you can, get out of the office and go do things and still make sure that everything you need to do is taken care of.
And that's uniquely situated for the real estate life, because if you're a broker owner, you're bound to the office a lot more than you typically would be, whether that office is at home or somewhere else. You're bound to a computer to get things done, approving documents and stuff. But as a realtor, just your normal sales realtor, you don't want to be bound to the office. And so in having those systems in place, even as a not as a broker owner, having those systems in place, allowing you to get out and increase your spheres is, especially with the tools that are out there today, is a must, or you'll fail. You may not fail where you lose business, but you won't be as successful as you could be.
Right, exactly. So one of the segments that we will have in every podcast, I'm really excited about this. We're going to call it Postcards and Properties. So like I said, we do travel a decent amount, and in that segment,
Too much. We travel too much. She just doesn't want to say it.
Okay, that's not true. Anyway.
The house we live in is our vacation home.
That's not true. Well, anyway, so I'm really excited to be able to share with y'all, every time we have a podcast episode, we can share either the most recent place that we went to or where we're going next. And we like to play a fun game whenever we go on, I say vacation, but whenever we take these trips to new places, we like to look up real estate in the area. And sometimes we play a game where, one person will look up what the prices are selling for, like we'll drive by this house or, what have you not, and we just kind of guess the list price and that sort of thing. And so it's very interesting to see the differences in, overall prices of property in different areas. And so, Kent, I'll let you real quick just kind of tell them what you do.
Okay.
For a
So
living.
we have what we would call an infrastructure consortium in ways. So we do everything from some of the companies dig and replace pipe, sewer, storm, whatever may be below ground. My specific company that I own, we do the robotic inspections and then assessments and then predictive analysis after that, utilizing AI and all kind of stuff. So it's pretty crazy stuff what we do. We get to travel a lot with it because, if you can imagine, infrastructure is terrible all over the place. It's everybody's reaching their failing point. So that's why we get to go to some of the fun places. Like, I guess we can go into, we traveled a couple of weeks ago, or about 3 weeks ago. Brittany got to tag along, and we got to go down to the U.S. Virgin Islands. Got to stay on St. Croix for a few days, and then got to go to St. Thomas for a few days to look at the infrastructure. And that's when we started looking at real estate down there.
Well, and also I was just going to add, because I have ADHD and I interrupt. If you've ever seen Friends, basically Kent is Chandler from Friends, and nobody ever really knows how to describe what he does. And just tell people you're an imposter. Or not
I'm a
imposter.
transponder.
Transponder. Gosh, yes, that's
Come
what
on,
an
man.
imposter.
I thought you were a
Transponder.
fan.
Oh, I know, I forgot. I got nervous. There's a camera in front of me and a mic and everything. So, but yeah.
There's a camera?
I know, right? There's two. Anyway, so yeah,
Actually,
we
3.
loved the. There are 3 cameras. We loved going to the Virgin Islands, and I didn't mean to cut you off. I'll let you finish.
They didn't really cut me off. I was just talking.
Kanye West. I'll let you finish.
I'm 100% used to it. Anyway, so that's why we started looking at real estate down there, and it's funny. Everywhere we go, I travel to the western part of the United States, and pretty much a lot of places. And it's funny because, you can pick up houses here and set them down somewhere else, and they go from 200,000 to 700,000.
If not more.
And it's just supply and demand. It's just literally showing you what supply and demand is about these days. So.
Well, when we were in St.
Croix.
It wasn't St. Croix, it was the other one, St. Thomas, we went over, one of his business partners has a house on a little island right there called Water Island.
Yeah.
And I was looking up, the real estate that was for sale, and I found a few lots because this was a really cool island. And if you know us, you know how much we love golf cart life and water life. And this island was, pretty much everybody leaves their cars parked at their house, and then they just take golf carts around. And it was so fun. We loved the lifestyle. So I was looking up real estate for sale, and I found a few lots that were, great little lots for under $100,000. I was like, man, we should buy this and we'll just build one day. And his business partner was like, good luck, because you have to take a ferry to get there. And then obviously it's an island, so all of the building materials have to be, brought there. And so what did you say? Like,
well, so like one of my other business partners in our little consortium here, he also has a barge down there. He just moved down there or bought a house down there anyway. They bought a barge, and so everything that goes to that island goes by some form of boat, one way or the other. And every time you go, you pay. You have to pay to get it over there. And so, like the one business partner she was speaking about that has a house already there, she undersells a house. It is just absolutely perfect. Where it sets on a point. It looks out to the Atlantic.
Total dream house,
There's
for sure.
When the big massive Icon of the Sea ship comes in, it literally passes right by his house. Like, it is absolutely phenomenal how perfect it is. But he remodeled his house. He didn't even build it. He just remodeled it, and it took him 3 years. It took him 3 years to remodel it, because getting everything in, getting the work done, like it's not easy to do. My other business partner, he bought a pretty nice house there, and but it was blown out in the last hurricane, and it's going to take him probably 5 years.
I thought you said 5 years, but do you remember what the price per foot was to build?
Oh,
was it like 500?
Well, no, I said I gotta guess it's probably going to be closer to $300 to $400 a foot. He said it's going to be double that.
Yeah, that's insane.
Well, you got to think. Every area. If you go to Texas, East Texas to West Texas, the building cost is totally different, because in East Texas you can get wood fairly easy. In West Texas, you're not getting a whole lot of wood very easy. So you're getting that building price goes way up. The freight and everything is more expensive. But in Mississippi, the building cost obviously is different. So that's real estate.
You got lots of pine
It's
trees.
very. And you can make it as complicated as you want to. But it's really kind of straightforward. It's a cost plus every time you look at it. We bought this house last year, and then if we go to sell it, we got the cost in it. We got whatever we did to it added to that cost, and then we want to make a little money off of it. And if the market dictates that, then we can make money. But that could change tomorrow. Market could fail like it did in 2008, and it could go to where we're way upside down on this, right?
Well, okay. Well, that's where I'll come in as the realtor. there's a lot behind the market crash of '08 that a lot of people just don't understand. And I'm not saying that you don't understand it.
She's saying that.
No, my mom was a realtor during this time too, but banks didn't have strict appraisal processes. That's really what happened. They were giving loans to anybody and everybody. It was like Oprah. You want a house? You want a house? You get a house. You get a house. Basically, they would come in and say, I want this $400,000 house. And then they would say, okay, here you go. So there are a lot, stricter appraisals and lending requirements now.
Watch The Big Short, by the way. I don't want to interrupt, but watch that. It's a movie. It's a great movie. It's got Christian Bale in it, but it talks about the guy who predicted this years before it happened and the billions of dollars that he staked on it happening, but knowing it was coming. So it's a really good thing to watch. There are safeguards. I agree.
Yeah.
There are safeguards in place now that will allow it. However, market is the market. It's as volatile as if something happens, as everybody knows, in Iran, then it affects what happens here because we are no longer isolated. It's a world market. Everybody trades, and it's all dictated.
With COVID, there's so many people that don't truly understand the reason why interest rates drop so low.
Yeah.
I have buyers, periodically will say, well, they bought their house during COVID and they got, a 2.5% interest rate, and now they're, 6 and 7, and they want to wait. And what, are you laughing at the 6 to 7?
No, I'm laughing at the
We have
answer.
boys, so I thought you were going to say do the 6-7 thing.
By the way, if you do the 6-7 thing, just reach out, slap yourself as hard as you can, and say
I think
thank
it's
you.
fading now, so.
Oh, thank God. I've never wanted to hit somebody that's 2 years old or 3 or however old they are when they start that so much in my life.
But anyway, there's a lot of homeowners right now that are sitting on a house where they're at, 2.5% interest rate, and they don't want to sell because I'll hear, well, I'm waiting on the interest rates to come back down. They're not going to come down that low again unless there is a major issue, a major hit to the economy. Something
Which
like
you don't
COVID,
want.
which we don't want. So
Yeah.
y'all that are wishing that, please stop.
Well, and it also is like, if you're my age, 40 or so, or even older, or maybe even a little bit younger, ask your parents what their interest rate was. Mine was 12 or 14% in 92 or 93. My parents were, and that was low for them. Like, they didn't think that was going to be any higher than that, or any lower than that. So that's the thing, is everything is in perspective. Yes, it's high because it's relative to what you had whenever you were starting to buy houses or getting into college or whatever. But it's kind of a pipe dream to think you're going to see a 2.25% interest again. You're just not.
Right, and we sold our house where we had a 2.5 interest rate.
I'll drink on that one.
And we sold that house a little over a year ago, and we now have, what is our interest rate?
I don't want to talk about it. But if you tripled the interest rate that we had, you still wouldn't be at ours.
7.25 interest rate.
And we have good credit.
So, yeah.
It's not like we have bad credit or like they're going to default. We have good credit, and we are still high. So,
and what's funny is we actually tested the market for a couple of months before that with interest rates, and because I don't know if y'all know this, but you don't actually have to rate or lock your interest rate at the time that you contract. It is very risky, and I knew that as a broker, obviously, as a realtor.
It only cost us 0.25%.
It was risky. No, I think when we first went under contract, it was like
6.75.
Yeah, so 6.75 and 7.25 minus 6.75 is half. You said a quarter.
Oh, yes. I didn't know.
And I'm not even good at math.
I was just guessing.
He probably doesn't even know what our interest rate is. He was like, don't tell me, just let me sign,
I know what the note is.
Yeah. But, the reason why we did that, and this is what I tell homeowners that are in that position right now, that house no longer served us. The location no longer served us. And it was a gorgeous house. I built that house. It had almost everything that I wanted. It was great. However, the location was 30 minutes from basically where we do life, and it just no longer served us anymore. We wanted something different, so we sold a custom built house on 10 acres.
With a pool,
with
and
a
bar,
pool,
and everything.
absolutely, to move into a house on a what do we have? Half-acre lot inside of a subdivision, which I was freaking out about. But it ended up being one of the best decisions that we made, even though the interest rate is 3 times.
Well, and we also you talk about motivations for selling, and sometimes it's not just location. I like to be a good steward of what's put in front of me. That's the way I was raised. I couldn't take care of it. We had 10 acres. It needed to be bush hogged fairly often.
A lot of people, I did not think about that when I bought the land as a girl.
And those are things to think about. It's like, what's the maintenance on this? What's the upkeep? So the couple that bought it they're awesome. The guy's handy. He's there.
You're handy too.
I'm handy. I can fix anything. I just don't have the time to fix it. But he's there. He can do this stuff with our travel schedule and everything. It wasn't feasible for us to keep something that the good Lord gave us, and we weren't going to take care of it. So the couple that's got it now is doing an amazing job. We went by the other day because she was listing some land there and a house, and it's looking great.
It's nice to see it go to somebody who could really keep up the land, and
and their kids can enjoy it. And so that again,
sometimes your circumstances are different, and if as a homeowner, basically if that house is just not serving you well anymore, find something else. I felt, and I feel like a lot of people feel like this right now too with low interest rates. They are just like essentially stuck in that house. They feel like they're just bound to be there because of the low interest rate. And you're not, because you know what, guys? You had a low interest rate, so what does that mean? That means you have a lot of equity in your house. So take that equity out and put it towards something that you're going to love even more.
So I'm going to differ with her. I agree.
Oh, this is going to be our next segment, his and hers. Okay.
I can agree with this, but I'll disagree in the fact that the fiscally responsible thing to do is to stay there. Because again, you say you have a couple $100K in equity, and you go and you put that down on your next house. If, in my opinion, and I'm sure it's going to differ from my wife who's within arm's reach.
Close enough to pop you.
If you're going to go to a house that you think you're going to stay in for a long time, then yeah, maybe it makes sense to make that move because you're putting a lot of money down, and you've got instant equity in that house, and you're gonna pay it down, but it's not going to be nearly as fast as you were paying down the other. But if you're just thinking to move just to move, like it's not super fiscally responsible, because like I can look at our note and know right now I think we put $300 a month down to our premium is what goes to our premium right now. So if you don't know how that works, if you don't know how amortization works, look it up because it's depressing. It's very freaking depressing. So if you're going to go buy a house, you need to know when you go in there, it's going to be depressing. So
you just close your eyes and just sign when they hand you the amortization.
It's not fun. It is not fun. I think about
and
it.
And realtors taking that like in pre-licensing.
I'll drink to that too.
Yeah. Cheers. Realtors doing their pre-licensing, they make you go through an amortization schedule, and they like in your test you have to go through and do all. I was like, skip. I don't even think I answered those. I was like, I'm just gonna get these wrong. Moving on.
But again, yes. I mean, it's just one of those things you got to think about. Like, I guess I would think that'd be a really good one on his and hers. Is we're going to do a segment that Brittany came up with here called His and Hers. And if you know us personally, we can argue now. We don't fight like that, but we're
pretty much the same person, just in different bodies.
Yes, for all of you that can't see us, we definitely have different bodies. I identify as me, and she identifies as her. So that's a good thing, because I really do enjoy her body.
Okay, moving on. So
you can enjoy your body.
That's going to be fun as a topic on the next episode. The last thing that I kind of want to just touch on, we are total newbies when it comes to the podcast world, and so neither one of us set a timer, and we don't know.
I've been watching. We're about 25 minutes.
Oh, perfect.
Okay. I do have to go. I have a very, very important date.
Golf meeting. So, because that's where most business deals are made, on the golf course, right? That's what I hear.
There is a stat out there that says more $1 million deals are made on a golf course than they are in a boardroom. However, I'm a stat guy. That's a very skewed statistic because most of the
It was
people
all
that are
golfers.
golfing on a Wednesday have money that can go do this stuff. Not everybody can do that. And I don't have money. I'm just sneaking out for a few hours so I don't jump off a bridge because I've been looking at a computer screen for 2 full days. So I need some kind of break.
Heard that. Cheers. So the last thing that I'll just kind of touch on is we kind of want to share something interesting that we're doing real estate related. Yesterday I did a meeting, a Google Meet with a couple of really amazing women, and we're gearing up for Unite, which is a real estate conference through Inside Real Estate, and it's in Charleston. This is actually my second year to do this conference, and
Our
they've
dog
invited
hates what's going on right
Our
now.
dog is
Absolutely
barking.
hates what's going
I
on.
know. I'm over here just dying on the inside because we put them outside.
Go ahead. I'm going to go make sure
Sorry.
he's not killing somebody.
You know what, guys? We said that we were going to be unfiltered. This is us. It's real. It's not one of those super fluffy podcasts. So it is what it is. This is us. Take it or leave it. We're really just doing this for our entertainment. And like I said earlier, if we can just help
Are
one
other
person
people
out.
going to watch this?
I really don't know. At least our kids. We know that. Or listen
We're
to
gonna
it. And I know
force it.
your
We're gonna
mom will
force them to
listen.
watch
My
it.
mom will listen too.
That's what we should do. We should have a watch
My
party.
agents might watch it. So yeah, let's have a watch party. I
We
love
should.
that. Anyway, so they invited me to come back to Unite, and I'm very excited about that. They're still selling tickets if anybody's interested in it. It is my favorite real estate conference, and I go to a lot of real estate conferences. I've even been to Inman in New York City. And while I love that conference as well, I really like Unite. It's on a smaller scale, but one of the topics we're going to dive into in the future is AI and real estate. And this is one of the topics that I was selected for the conference in 2 weeks. And that is, it's a panel with a couple of pretty great women. And I think it's just going to be a really good one because, you know, you've got people that are totally for AI, totally against it. And then you have the people that are kind of in the middle and they're just like, well, you know, I'm not really so sure, this and that. And so I've really dug deep into AI over the past year, thanks to Rajiv Saja, I think is how you pronounce Rajiv Saja. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. And he has a podcast. It's called the Real Estate AI Flash. I highly recommend you listen to that. I saw him speak last year at Unite, and I took several pages of notes. It was really, really good stuff. And I was actually a guest speaker on his episode a couple of weeks ago.
She did great too.
So
Very good.
thanks, husband.
Brownie point.
So check that out. And AI is one of those things where if you don't learn to use it and get used to it, you will be left behind.
You absolutely will be left behind.
Yeah, that is one thing that we definitely agree on. I don't think it is meant to replace. It doesn't need to replace you at all. It needs to be used as a tool. And I think that seems to be kind of the main topic right now when it comes to AI. So learning to use it as a tool to where it can really help you just can be a game changer. So we're going to dive deeper into that in the coming episodes. The rest of this podcast, hopefully people do listen to it so that we can keep going because honestly I've had a lot of fun.
Well, we can make it as many as you want to.
Yeah, I know. Let's
It'll
just
be
like,
her personal life.
let's just do it all day tomorrow and stuff. It'll be fun.
It's like those artists that were like nobody cared about and then they died and like 400 years later
Wow,
everybody's like they're awesome. They
went
were so
really,
cool. They were
really
before their
far.
time. That's going to be us.
That's like
In 400 years, people are going to be listening to this as they float somewhere, and they're going to be like,
gosh.
"God, those people were
I hope
amazing."
Jesus has come to get us back before 400 years.
Well, we
But-
won't be here anyway. So
That's true. That's true. But
I'm looking for 41. Baby. 41.
so one of the things we do intend to have in the future are
Money.
guests on the podcast. I think it'll be really fun to kind of bring in some guests. Two of our very best friends, Amanda and Colin, they actually married us in Italy. We are going to invite them on the podcast. They don't know, but it's going to be a trick because I'm going to send them this podcast episode and see if they really listen to it all the way
Ooh,
through.
could we do that like Bon Jovi? We just send it to him and be like, "Hey, dude, by the way, we said you were coming."
I didn't
So
listen to Bon Jovi.
these are some of the things that we disagree on.
I'm a millennial. I was
Because
busy
Brittany doesn't
listening.
like 80s music or 90s music.
No, I like 90s. Like
You
90s
like-
rap, 90s hip hop. I was listening to Lil Wayne, Lil Boosie, Britney Spears, Mariah Carey. Oh, I'm a huge Mariah Carey.
I was listening to Colin Ray and
I
George
mean,
Strait,
I listened to him
Alan
too.
Jackson. just good wholesome family music. That's the kind of guy I am. Wholesome family guy. Crazy person. Ratchet.
You know what? I am what I am. You fell in love with me. You knew it, so.
I did fall in love.
You're stuck with it.
You know what? We started.
But anyway, so we do plan on bringing other guests onto the show. We feel like it'll be fun. And Amanda and Colin were actually both real estate licensees at one point. So I think it'll be really fun to kind of bring in them to kind of hear some of their stories and their takes and, kind of like what they liked and what they didn't like about having a real estate license and that sort of thing. So
because they've been on the buying side a couple of times since then, and the selling side.
Yeah, using a realtor once you're no longer a realtor. I feel like that's very interesting. And so we're gonna bring on successful realtors, brokers, that kind of thing. So I'm really excited. I hope that people do listen. But if they don't,
we still had fun.
Our parents will listen.
Right.
And we have fun.
Cheers.
So, cheers. And thank y'all so much. We intend to.
Bad luck if you
Bad
don't
luck. Sorry. We do intend to name this podcast "Real Estate Makes Me Drink," so that's what I'm going with. I'm human, and so I might change my mind. And if I change my mind, I change my mind. I can do that, right?
Wait, you're a human? That was not disclosed.
Part robot.
I did not know that. Okay.
Well, thank y'all so much for our parents that listen to us. We're really excited. And all right. See you
Peace,
later.
love, and chicken grease. Let's go.
Bye.